So preparing your plan. Where no plan is laid, where the disposal of time is surrendered merely to the chances of incidents, chaos will reign. Yale did an exercise, and they worked out of everybody that went to Yale in 1953, where were they later on in life? And they found that 3% of those students had 97% of the wealth of all the students that were at varsity at the same time. And they asked the question, so what was the difference? What is the formula? So I'm going to give you what the formula is. The secret formula is as following. Know what you want. Okay? This is in your notes at the moment, so if you don't have to write this down, it is there. Know when you want it. Know how you're going to achieve that, the action plan. List the benefits and the rewards and the consequences. I'm going to run through this with you, Nana. Identify the external and the internal obstacles. We never do this. We never look at the obstacles, yet those obstacles is the hole in the road. And we keep on falling in the same hole, and we ask ourselves why. Know the skills and knowledge you want, and understand you don't have to have it, because determine who you can associate with that has these knowledge and skills. And you'll find anybody who's knowledgeable is only too pleased to let you have some of it. So, goals are godly objectives assuring lasting success. Now, I talked about PMS. The one PMS that most of us in the world chase is the PM called pressure, money, and status. Would you agree? And only when you change to the correct PMS, which is passion, your passion, the meaning of why you're here, and move into significance, will you actually be able to get the results that you require, and the passion and the satisfaction of being content where you're at. And not to have this inner strife the whole time that something's missing and I've got to do more. And I always say to people, in life we've got to cross the line in terms of the worldly pressure to who we are. So, to be part of the 3%, and again this is in your handout, it's on the goal sheet, okay? You've got to look at, I want to actually do the exercise goal statement, which is the first part. Do it as a SMART goal. Who knows what SMART is? Then, what's motivating you for this? Why are you doing this? And look at two things in terms of that. The rewards, if you achieve this, and what's the consequences if you don't. Okay, very important. The next part you're looking at is the obstacles. Okay, and there you're looking at external obstacles. Who and what are you going to blame? Then under skills is look at what's available. You'd be surprised what's available. You can study any degree you want to free of charge on the internet right now. And then look at how do you actually acquire it, others that you need. The next part is who do I need to associate with? And this is very easy, you know. Look at people that you mix with in terms of key individuals. And then, of course, very important is describe what you want to achieve, the measurement, and also, very, very important, reward yourself. Now, reward must be in line with the goal. If your goal is to lose weight, the reward is not a massive piece of chocolate cake. And the very important thing is the commitment at the end and a date. And I say to people, sign it, because it's important. Something about signing your signature that creates the commitment. You want commitment in terms of getting that goal. The other aspect of that goal is to actually look at all the tasks that you need to do. You list those, and then plan those tasks both from a vision board. Those who were in the last session yesterday, there was the whole exercise around vision board, very powerful. Okay, so be specific in terms of that, and the vision board is a very effective way of actually doing that. Okay. All right, and then of course what you need to do is plan it in terms of a project, and you've got this also there where you actually list it. And the important and powerful thing about this is that for any particular month, you do this once, the beginning. Then all you do each month, you just look at this month, January, that's what I need to do. You forget about all of this, and then you come to February or whatever, July, this is what I need to do. And you just take those things and put it into that month. And of course, at the end of the day, I want all of you to be part of that 3%. Okay, I'm sure you want to be part of that 3%. Okay. Okay. This is just do it now. Okay, so when you go home, start doing this. All right, no opportunity waits for anybody. Isn't that powerful? Yes, each of you must be doing that all the time. Okay, how many hours in a day? 24. People say I don't have enough time. I'm just going to show you quickly that you do have enough time. How many hours in a week? 168. How many days at work? Normally, normal people 40. A lot of people it's more than that. Look at how many hours we normally or should be sleeping. 56. More. We sleep more than what we work. Interesting. So how many hours do you think is left? Because what I've done is I've done the sleeping, done the working. How many hours do you think is left?
60.
Huh? You have more hours left after sleeping, and if you do the chores and add it in, you have more hours even after cooking, cleaning the house and all of those things, preparing the baby's nappies, whatever, than what you have that you spend on working during a week. And the thing is, what do we do with it? I can tell you what we do with it. We watch TV, we chat around, we maybe read a book and it's a novel or the You, instead of actually looking at what should I be reading in terms of what my passion is. Okay? So, how do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece. The important thing that we train you to do in this exercise is everything might seem too complex when you actually look at your goals, but it's not when you break it down. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. Yard by yard, it's hard. So what you need to do is you divide it into your months. You divide your months in weeks. You divide your weeks in days. And you turn your to-do list into a today list. So in other words, you become quite focused on what you're going to achieve today. Okay, so here's just the practical aspect in terms of it. Your goals for that particular month. You then convert that to your goals for that week. And we've just chatted about that. Your to-do list, if it doesn't become your today list, will become your tomorrow list. Okay, and if you fail to plan, you plan to? Thank you very much. Okay, the last of the 5 steps that I want to do with you is every mistake is an opportunity to begin again more intelligently. Have a personal development plan. It helps you to learn to focus your mind, and very important, reflect daily. Never go to sleep without actually sorting out issues, even if it's just in your mind. I'm not saying you've got to phone the guy then, but just make sure that you're going to get it resolved, okay? So the good plan is about getting out of debt. I teach my kids a simple thing, and I'm going to share that with you now. Okay, so there's a particular book that I read a couple of years back, which is unbelievable. It's written in the early 1900s. It's George Gleason. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. And in that he talks about the 7 cures for a lean purse. Those 7 cures are: number 1, make your purse fatter. Control your expenses, your expenditure. Okay? Multiply your finances. I'm going to give you some tips on all of these. Guard your treasures from loss. Make sure your dwelling is an investment, especially if you're married. Ensure future income. How do you ensure future income? Knowledge is an unbelievable empowerer of possibilities and future. Unbelievable. Without knowledge, you're actually dwelling in the wilderness. With knowledge, it opens up a whole lot of opportunities. And then increase your ability to earn in terms of that. So, as to make your purse bigger, pay yourself first. Okay? Very important. Spend less than what you earn. And you need to track this, because we don't sometimes even know what we're spending. What you need to do is everything that you get, take 10% and give it away. Now, some people will call it a tithe. Give it to charity. Give it to people on the street. Just give it away into the universe. Make a difference, okay? And save 10%. If you do that from your age, I can tell you, you'll never want for anything. Wealth creation, men of action are always favored by the smile of good fortune. Better a little caution than great regret. I see so many times these people who get promised 10% return per month. If the returns are that good, you're a fool to actually go for it. We cannot afford to be without adequate protection. And with the determination, a way can be found. Create wealth, protect your wealth, and also protect your health, because that is your future wealth. And then PIGS is really residual income, which is personal income growth. Make decisions to spend less, commit yourself to a deadline, visualize your financial freedom. appoint a good mentor, and educate yourself. Now, I haven't got this for you, but if you want to, I will give it to you. The way you go about this is exactly the same that I just told you. Where am I now in terms of what we've just done? Dream, where's my destination, and how I'm going to get there. When it comes to debt, it's exactly the same. So write it all down, and the very important thing is write also the numbers. So you can see that the numbers, who the person is, how much you owe, how many months still to run, what's the total amount, and in some cases, what is the settlement amount. Sometimes if you settle before the due date, they would discount certain of the interest in that, and you'll get that back. Okay, so you have all of those facts there. And then what you do is you total it all up, and what we do, the important thing, the way you get out of debt, is you look at that total, 13,700, that's the monthly payments, and you decide for yourself, from now onwards, how much extra am I going to pay? Now you will say to me, no, I don't have extra to pay. I can tell you right now, if you just got more control of your spending, your food that you buy, takeaways, if you're a smoker, give up smoking and just use that money. There's a couple of hundreds of rands that you, in actual fact, thousands if you're a smoker. Okay? And when you get an increase, use part of that increase. Just take that amount and add it to what you're already paying on your debt. And this is what you can do afterwards. You pay that once-off difference. And yeah, for this exercise, I said this person's deciding to pay 15% extra from this month onwards to get rid of his debt. So it looks like this. You list all the accounts from the smallest, not the biggest, the smallest. Very important. And I'm going to ask you the question now why. So that 15% on the total debt was 2,000. So 15% on 13,000 Rand is 2,000. Added to it, so the person is now paying 15,000 in total. The extra 2,000 you add to the smallest account. So instead of taking 6 months, as you would have seen there, you add those two, gives you that amount, and within 2 months that account is paid up. What do you think that does to you as an individual? Then what you do is you just add that, as you can see, to the next one. Okay, so the 2.5 now, that's cleared. You add it to this one, so that credit card, all of a sudden now, you're paying 3,700 Rand. And you do that all along till eventually a bond where you were paying 7.5, you're now paying 15. And that's the reality of what happens at the end of the day. So if you have a look at that, your clothing account, which was 6 months, is cleared in 2. Your credit card, which was 12 months, is cleared in 6. Your car, which was 60 months, is cleared in 25. And your house, which was in 20 years, is cleared in 6. But for me, the more important thing is this aspect. The banks want you to loan money from them. Why? Because they want to make money out of you. They're business people. Eh? So if you look at it, your original house cost you 1.8 million in this case. You eventually started paying 1,900 per month. You've actually paid 4.7 million with the interest on this house over 20 years for a house that cost you 1.8 million. The bank has made 2.8 million from you on a loan they gave you for 1.8 million. Do you think that's good business from the bank's point of view? Absolutely. They're happy, the bank. They're absolutely happy. They don't want you to pay your bond off earlier. But look at this. If you do the good plan and you pay it off in 6 years, you would have paid 1.4 instead of the 1.8 because of the discount of money. And you would have saved 3.3 million Rand. That's just the 14 years that you would have been paying on the bond. And that's money you could have invested. So you now have a house worth 1.8 million and you have 3.3 million in the bank, whereas before you would have just had a house of 1.8 million and nothing in the bank. You would have paid the bank 4.7 million. So the process to follow at home is list up your total debt, look at your total payments, create a good payment once off and add that on going forward, list the items in priority, prepare a plan, and have a look at a budget. How many of you have a budget? Great. How many of you stick to your budget? Start living. Live your passion. Find out what your passion is. And do it. Don't just dream about it in your mind. Write it down and start executing it. Each of you were put on this earth to make a difference.